Am I audible? Here.
Yeah, sorry, Mohammed, we can hear you.
Oh, okay, that is great. Let us start off with our second panel of the BIM Coordinators Summit, MENA, the Virtual Summit 2024. I am Mohammed Al-Dasukri, a BIM manager and a part of the D1 R&D team. Will be your host for the panel. And with me, we have Muhammad Wali from Saudi Arabia. Muhammad, please.
Hello, everybody. How are you? How are you, Mohammed?
All good, all good. So our panel title is would be about the QA/QC in the BIM industry and how we apply it on design projects, specifically in consultancy firms. And later, when Jay join us, we will discuss about the digital transformation and also how we can QA/QC the process. So, Muhammad, first of all, would you explain the QA and QC terms in the BIM industry?
Yeah, sure. First, the main question is, are they different approaches? Are they different subject, or they are the same? Because some of the people are getting confused between what is the difference between QA as a quality assurance and the QC as a quality control. Quality assurance is a process that you have to start before the the process itself. You have to prepare for it before you make your production, before you start your setup for any process or any stage. From, if you are talking about the construction field, so for any design stage or schematic or whatever, you have to set up your criteria. You have to identify your deliverables, what is required from the project, and what exactly will be the workflow. You have to make sure that you are communicated well with all the stakeholders of the project. You have to make sure that internally your team have all the data that they need to work with in the process. So this is as a quality assurance. It is uh, an action that you are going to do before the process or through the process that it's running. Okay, what about the quality control? Quality control is that you are making check. You have to check your output. You have to make sure that your output are matching with what agreed in the beginning of the project. Is what is the product is matching with what is required in the deliverables in the EIR, if you are talking in the terms of BEM and whatever. So to make sure that what you are handling or what you are submitting to the client or to the lead consultant or whatever is matching with what is required, and this is what they are waiting from your side. So those mainly are the difference between how to do the quality assurance and the quality control, or what is the difference between the two approaches.
So basically, if we're talking about any given process or any given stage during the BIM development and evolution of the BIM models and the criterias throughout the project, quality assurance is preparing what I will be quality control the project or the
Yes,
process based on. So we have it's divided into two parts. The pre one, which is the preparing the quality assurance criterias that I'm gonna control via the quality control process on the project or element or model or whatever any given product that's going to be delivered to the client at the end of the stage.
yes, exactly. That is it.
Perfect, 100%. So, in that sense, who is responsible of making these policies and making sure that the products or the deliverable is as per these control measures in any given firm?
Yeah. For sure, as we all know, each company or each firm have their own department structure, have their own workflow internal. So it differs from one place to another. But the first answer for this question is all of us are responsible for the QA and QC, starting from the production teams that are doing the tasks themselves that they have to follow for they have to follow the criteria that agreed on during the production. But to make it more clear, mostly if you are talking about the ideal process, you have to make a dedicated team for the quality. They are just a team, a fresh eye, as we say, to make a check or have a look on the production that have been done, or to follow up the process that is running, and you have to make the check and the coordination check and so on. So if we're talking about the ideal case, so you have to assign a dedicated quality team into your company. But what
But
if?
having a dedicated team, that means it is an ongoing process. It's not just a stage or a stage stop process that has to be done on a set time. That means from the start of the project or from the start of the stage till the end of the stage, there is a continuous quality assurance and quality, or so let's say it will be quality control. It will not be quality assurance anymore. So it's
Yeah,
before the process, there is some author entity within the firm or the organization itself that making the procedures, and the same team is controlling the other works and keep reminding and keep observing the process up until the delivery stage, right?
yeah, you are totally right. Yeah, so that's why the specific point that I'm referring to is the internal quality. Who shall do it in internal inside my firm? If I'm talking about from uh, each company perspective of view. Sometimes in some companies they don't have a dedicated quality control for the projects, so it's sometimes given to the BEM team so that they have to follow up those tasks starting from the beginning, as you mentioned, to make sure that the workflow is correct, that the standardization are followed, that all the agreed deliverables are prepared well in order to be submitted, and for sure the final check after the production is finished. So this
But
is if we are
actually,
talking internal.
that's okay. But that's a little bit. I find it from my side a little bit mix of tasks, if I may say, because
Yeah,
for instance, we are saying it's quality control, and the quality control is being done by policies that have been set already. So if we're saying that in A company or X company that the BIM team is responsible for the full quality control and quality assurance of the deliverable of the project, that means there are some stuff from the design team, technical team, some codes that needs the apply and the feedback of the exact team. So it begs the need to have that person or that quality control process to be embedded within the team itself. Like it has to be quality controlled by the design team, quality controlled by the technical team, and of course for the BIM information with regards to the integrity of the model, the integrity of the information, the integrity of the parameters, and the healthiness of the model itself. That, of course, will reside with the BIM team, which is again the core of their tasks. However, if we're just saying that the quality control and the quality assurance process to be residing as a whole for the BIM team, don't you think that's a little bit confusing?
it's a lot of work, as you said. It have some confusion in the responsibilities, but a solution for this one, as I saw in some of the companies, is the role for the BIM coordinator. It's someone that are a contact person between the design team and the BIM team, so he can follow up the process from design point of view, in addition to the BIM point of view, so he can translate what the design team are approaching into the BIM check or the quality check. So, but this case, as I said, it's not the ideal one, but it's for the cases that you don't have a dedicated team for the quality.
That's totally 100% On point, Muhammad. So another point is with regard to the source of the quality assurance and quality control variables. As the BIM is starting to mature and get more traction in the region here, and also as everybody knows that we have some entities or some authorities of jurisdiction that having the power of approval for example, the building permits or so, these official documents are starting to implement their own QA/QC lists and checklists rather than having it only from the client side. For example, we have the Dubai municipality, Abu Dhabi municipality, and we have the some of the Saudi entities like NEOM, Red Sea, or Diriyah. All of these entities have their own checklists or their own QA/QC procedures for their deliverables. Plus also the internal QA/QC procedures that being implemented and mandated by various different consultants and firms. Don't you think that variety of these QA/QC procedures for a firm or for several firms might cause a bit of, again, confusion and ambiguity about which standard or which codes to be followed for which project, instead of having it unified? For example, like we have the ISO that unifies the general guidelines for the BIM requirements, but it doesn't dive into the details of what is required for each stage.
Yeah, you should just hate the pain. Yeah. Okay, if we go back to a couple of years ago, before, as you said, that our Middle East or even in some other areas have reached the maturity of the BIM knowledge. Every company was depending on their own knowledge or their own standards for the quality. They have their own BIM handbook or BIM standard, whatever it's called, and they are using it to check their production and to check their design and their model before being submitted to the specific entity. But next, when BEM have been more saturated for all the parties of the AEC industry, yeah, we are now having some requirements from the clients, from the LDC or lead consultants for a specific quality control or quality check or requirements that have to be followed. So this was step number 2 in the develop of the process of the quality. Next, as you said, it was first for the clients or for the, let's say, the private clients. But now I believe all the government clients or all the governments have been gone through this knowledge, and now they are having their own checklists, they having their own requirements that they are requesting to submit or to deliver their projects within this requirements. For sure, the challenge now is, as you said, is what about the different references that you have to follow up. Is it your internal reference or is the client or the governmental? Or I believe that the best solution and the best workflow that we all refer to the global standards that identify for all of us what should be done and how it should be done. As you mentioned, yeah, for the ISO, and this is,
Exactly.
yeah, it's the best way that to avoid, especially for those companies that work in different projects in different countries. So you have to, yeah.
I would, yeah, I would, if you may allow me to have a note here that we can take a reference
Sure.
from our fire, life, and safety colleagues here. They have the major or the main reference of all the fire, life, and safety codes around the world, which is the NFPA 101, which is, again, some consultants refer to the IBC as well, but mainly the main reference for the most of the region's fire, life, and safety codes is the NFPA 101. And if you go through various governmental or authorities having jurisdiction on the fire life and safety approvals, they're all referring to the NFPA 101. So I believe that, and now all the consultants, because they have two working together harmoniously sources, most, if not all, of the consultants are having even their internal processes following the same standards. So I believe it is just a matter of combining and collaborating between the various entities in the zone with the international standard authority as well, so that we can develop some kind of a unified, universal QA/QC checklist or standard for BIM.
Yeah, for sure. That's right. Each industry have the global standard that everybody knows and everybody should follow. No, not only, yeah, you give a good example for the FLS, but for sure, yeah, even for the mechanical, for architecture, for any industry, they have their the specific global standards that they all refer to. But if any entity or any country need to do or to create a specific or dedicated standard for their own, they also have to follow, or they are referring to the global standards that have been known for everybody. Let me give you another example. In Egypt, we are now creating for the government. I'm one of the BIM committee in Egypt. We are creating a BIM, an Egyptian BIM code. Okay, but what is our reference? As we said, we are not going to invent something new. We are just referring to the ISO, and it's mentioned in the code itself that we are referring to ABC. It's our references. It's just a customized, it's just not a modification. It's just a customization to the requirements of the country, the specific situation of the country itself, and so on. But at the end, you have to refer to a global standard that everybody knows and everybody can work with it.
Totally agree, 100%. So now let's go back again to the smaller scale, on the scale of a firm, or on the scale of a practice, a consultancy practice. What are the challenges that are facing? I don't want to specify it to the BIM department or the BIM leads. Okay, let's say if we wanted to generalize it a little bit to make it the QA/QC person to make that list or checklists be followed in each process, to have the ideal, as per the checklist or as per the QA/QC mandates, the ideal product or deliverable.
Yeah, I
Very good.
believe the first.
Continue there. We have approximately 2 minutes left in this panel discussion.
Cool, Audrey. Thank you.
Okay, Audrey. Okay, okay. I will try to reply to this quickly. Okay, but I believe, or what I faced personally, that the main challenge first is that the knowledge that the person itself dedicated to this quality check have to get the knowledge first about what are the requirements for this project, what should be delivered, and because sometimes you don't know what you have to check for. So you have the product, but you don't know what's correct and what's wrong. This is what you have to do first. Second thing, it's what we are all facing. It's a time frame, because any comments you are going to raise to the technical or the design team, you have to give them some time frame to do it and to correct or resubmit it to in order to be able to submit it officially to the client. So don't miss the quality control in the time frame of the project, in the lifetime of the project. Sometimes project managers or whatever miss to add this duration in their timeline. You have to add specific time for the quality check and for the time that to be rectified their comments. So mainly I believe those are the 2 points, or the 2 challenges that any quality people may face while doing their task.
Well, that have been quite informative and interesting panel and discussion, Mohammed. Of course, I would love to have more time to go down more paths, but as Audrey is popping out again here, so we have to end it, unfortunately. But for everybody, you have our contacts, and I believe also our LinkedIn profile links in the panels. So feel free to reach out and ask us for any time. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you, Mohammed.
It was
Thank you, Mohammed.
my pleasure to be with you. Thank you, Audrey.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.